Hi friends, welcome to everyone. I Narsimha Erramrini. Today we are discussing important topic in hydrogen and its compounds. Okay, in previous videos we discussed what is hydrogen, source of hydrogen, isotopes of hydrogen, and preparation properties, methods of hydrogen. Okay, and next one is hydrates. Okay, in these hydrates, how the hydrates are classified, type of hydrates, and already we discussed about the ionic hydrates. Ionic hydrates. Okay, in this video, now we are discussing about the covalent hydrates or molecular hydrates. Covalent hydrates or molecular hydrates. Okay. Okay. Covalent hydrates or molecular hydrates. First, preparation. How these are obtained? In preparation method, these covalent hydrates are obtained by the preparation. Simply, the elements of p block elements, the elements of p block react with hydrogen to give covalent hydrates, to give covalent hydrates. Okay, the elements of p block react with hydrogen to give covalent hydrates. Okay, covalent hydrates. Here, these covalent hydrates are classified into three major types. These covalent hydrates are classified into three major types. They are, first one is here classification. I explain the classification of hydrates. Okay, here the first one is electron deficient hydrate. Electron deficient hydrate. And second one is electron precise hydrate. Electron precise hydrate. And third one is here, third one is electron rich hydrate. Okay, so these are the three major type of hydrates are present in this covalent hydrates. Okay, these covalent hydrates are obtained when hydrogen react with p block elements. Okay, these are further classified into different types. These are further classified into different types based on based on Lewis dot structures. Number of electrons present in that hydrate to write that Lewis dot structures. Okay, so these are the three major type of hydrates present in the covalent or molecular hydrates. Okay, let's discuss how these hydrates, examples of these hydrates, and how these are obtained. Okay, first of all, we discuss about the what is electron deficient hydrates. Electron deficient hydrates means here these hydrates have too few electrons. These hydrates have too few electrons. Too few electrons means this too few electrons means less number of electrons. Less number of electrons. To write the Lewis structures. To write the Lewis structures. Too few means less number of electrons, lack of electrons. Actually, the elements which contain 8 electrons is more stable. So, in these hydrides, they are having less number of electrons with empty orbital. With empty orbitals, they have empty orbitals. Okay, the best example of these hydrides is when hydrogen react with third group element, third A group element to give this hydride, okay, EH3 type hydride, EH3 type hydride. The best example of this hydride is example of this hydride is one is BH3 aluminum hydride, gallium hydride and indium hydride and thallium hydride, like this. So third group elements are able to form this electron deficient hydrides. Okay, here these hydrides are volatile and covalent. Okay, these hydrides have less number of electrons or very few electrons to write their Lewis canonical structures. Okay, here each one having only, all these are having only 6 electrons. Actually they need 8 electrons to complete their octet. So here only 6 electrons are present. That's why these are called electron deficient hydrides. Due to this deficiency, they can easily accept the electrons from the other elements or like donors. Okay, these are able to form coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Okay, due to the accepting nature, all these hydrides are acts as a Lewis acid. All these are acts as a Lewis acids. And all these hydrides are covalent and volatile. So this is about the electron deficient hydrides. Okay, these hydrides are having very too few electrons to write their Lewis canonical structures. Third A group elements like boron family elements form these hydrides. Okay, if you observe these hydrides, all these hydrides are undergo sp3 hybridization. And having one empty orbitals. For example, this is like if this is B, okay, this B has having one empty orbital and remaining 3 bonds are exist like this. Okay, this diborane, in case of diborane, the best example is B2H6. Okay, Lewis acids, all these are the examples of Lewis acids. Okay, clear. And next one is electron precise hydrides. Okay, here this is about the electron deficient hydrides. It is completed. Next one is electron precise hydrides. Precise means sufficient. The hydrides which have sufficient number of electrons to write their Lewis canonical structures are called electron precise or electron sufficient hydrides. Electron precise as well as electron sufficient hydrides. They have equal number of electrons or sufficient number of electrons or precise number of electrons to write their canonical structures are called electron precise hydrides. Here when hydrogen react with react with fourth A group elements. Hydrogen react with fourth A group elements to form this precise hydrides. The formula of this precise hydride is general formula is EH4. EH4. Like fourth group elements, carbon family. Fourth group elements means carbon family. So carbon family elements able to form this electron precise hydrides. Electron precise hydrides. Okay, these examples are CH4, SiH4, Ge, germanium hydride, tin hydride, and lead hydride, like this. These are the four type of hydrides of electron precise hydrides. Electron precise hydrides. These are here also, these are undergo sp3 hybridization. Here these are also undergo sp3 hybridization. The shape of molecule is tetrahedral. The shape of the molecule is tetrahedral. Tetrahedral. Okay, this is about the electron precise hydrides. Electron precise hydrides, like this. Okay, they have precise number, sufficient number, equal number. That is nothing but 8 electrons. 8 electrons are present. 8 electrons are present. All compounds. All these compounds are having 8 electrons. Clear? So this is about the electron precise hydrides. Okay, and next one, we go for the next one, that is nothing but electron rich hydrides. Okay, the elements like 5th A and 6th A and 7th A group elements react with hydrogen, to give electron rich hydrides. Here the general formula is EH3. Here the formula is EH2. Here the formula is EH. Okay, clear? So here what I am saying here, if you observe the 5th A group hydrides, examples are NHE3, PHE3, ASH3, SbHe3, and bismuth hydrate, BiH3. All these are the examples of electron rich hydrides regarding to this 5th A group. This is belongs to 5th A group. Okay, and next we go for the 6th A group, and next we go for the 7th A group. Okay, like this. Here the examples of 7th A group are H2O. 6th A group means oxygen family. Oxygen family examples are H2O, H2S, and selenium hydride, tellurium hydride, polonium hydride, like this. And 7th A group, HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. Here this compound is unreactive, astatic. Okay, so these are the examples. Each one, all these are undergo sp3 hybridization. All these are also undergo sp3 hybridization. But here shapes are different. Here these are having planar shapes. These are having tetrahedral shape. And these are having electron rich hydrides, each one having each group elements. Okay, here the shapes of the molecules depends upon the shape of the molecule depends upon number of lone pairs and number of bond pairs. Already it is explained in Vesper theory, valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. Okay, in previous videos, I already explained about the shape of the molecule based on the number of lone pairs and bond pairs. According to Vesper theory, here the shape of these elements is pyramid, and the shape of these elements is bent or V shape, bent or V shape. Okay, like that. So here the shape of these molecules also like linear. Here what I am saying is these group elements are acts as a Lewis, all these are acts as a Lewis base. Lewis base. Why? Because the hydrides which have more number of electrons to write their canonical structures are called electron rich hydrides. Due to the presence of that excess electrons, excess means they have lone pair of electrons. Okay, so that lone pair of electrons, that is lone pair of electrons, due to the presence of lone pair of electrons, these are acts as a Lewis bases. Why? Because they can easily donate the electrons to electron deficient hydrides. Okay, all these are acts as a Lewis bases. And also nucleophiles, these are acts as a nucleophiles. In organic chemistry, this point is most important. Okay, electron donors, electron donating groups also. Okay, like this, like NH2. From this NH3, NH2 is NH2 is attached to a ring. So all these groups H2O, H2S, NH3, PH3, all these are acts as electron donors or donating groups. Lewis bases, simply it is called Lewis bases, and all these are undergo sp3 hybridization. Here electron deficient hydrates are acts as a Lewis acids, electron rich hydrates acts as a Lewis bases, but electron precise or sufficient hydrates neither Lewis acids nor Lewis base. Okay, why? Because these are not electron deficient, these are not electron rich. These are electron precised compounds. Electron precised compounds. Okay. So these are not neither acts as Lewis acids nor Lewis base. These are neutral compounds. Okay. Neither donate the electron nor accept the electron. Neither donate the electron nor accept the electron. Like that. Finally, what I am saying here, in objective point of view, they may ask the questions. They give some options. Which of the following is electron deficient hydrate? Which of the following is electron precise hydrate? Which of the following is electron rich hydrate or covalent hydrate? Like that. They ask the questions like that. So if you know this entire chart, if you understood this concept or tabular form, you can answer the questions asked in the MSET. Sometimes they also ask the questions in a main section. Okay, so this is the covalent hydrates or molecular hydrates. Okay, next we discuss about the metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrates. Metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrates. Okay, here these hydrates are formed when hydrogen react with like P D block or F block. D block or F block elements to give all these are the metals, that's why we represent the M. Okay, represented with the M. MH X point Y. MH X point Y means its value is fraction 1.5, 2.5, like that. So these hydrates are called non-stoichiometric hydrates. Non-stoichiometric hydrates. Why? Because the ratio of hydrogen is non-stoichiometric in ratio. The ratio of the percentage of hydrogen is non-stoichiometric in ratio. That's why these hydrates are called non-stoichiometric hydrates. Okay, like zirconium hydride, lanthanum hydride, titanium hydride, like that. Here, what I am saying here, these are like ionic hydrides. These are all also having a little bit of ionic character, and moreover, according to properties of these hydrides, exhibit the electrical and thermal conductivity. Exhibit electrical as well as thermal conductivity. It means they allow to flow of heat or current through them. Why? Because these are the metals, made up of metals. And the elements like 7th group, 8th group and 9th group do not form these hydrates. Very important point. Note point. 7th group, 8th group, 9th group elements do not form these hydrates. In 6th group also only chromium only forms these hydrates. Chromium is able to form. In 6th group, chromium only form these hydrates. In no one element form these non-stoichiometric hydrates from 7th group, 8th group and 9th group. Okay, these 2 points are the very important points. Okay, so and according to properties, these are the electrical as well as thermal conductors. And moreover, in these hydrides, the hydrogen is placed at interstitial site. Hydrogen is placed at interstitial site. Okay, this is another point. There is no change in the lattice points. But recent studies says that the lattice sites are changed. In some hydrates, non-stoichiometric hydrates, when compared to their parent hydrates, parent metal atoms, the structure of parent metal atoms, the lattice sites are changed their positions. Okay, that is another point. And these F and D block elements are able to absorb more percentage of hydrogen, like nickel and platinum. Already I told you, hydrogen is the best energy source. That's why for the storage of this dimeric form of hydrogen is by the D and F block elements. Okay, so these elements are very useful to store the hydrogen due to its more absorption capacity. Okay, and I just show some examples of these hydrates like zirconium, hafnium, like that. So these are the best examples of metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrates. Nickel hydride. Here the percentage of hydrogen is 0.6 to 0.7. Okay, in case of zirconium hydride, the percentage is 1.3 to 1.75. In case of lanthanum hydride, 2.87. Titanium hydride, polar like lead hydride, like that. vanadium hydride, like that. So all these are the examples of non-stoichiometric hydrates. So D and F block elements are able to form non-stoichiometric hydrates. In that blocks also seventh, eighth, ninth, from seventh, eighth, ninth group elements, no one element is formed these hydrates, and sixth group only chromium is able to form these hydrates. Okay, these the best capability of absorbing of this hydrogen. These are majorly used as a hydrogen storage purpose, and also these are used as a catalyst in reducing agents. Okay, in reducing agents, these are used as a catalyst, or acts as a catalyst also, and acts as reducing agents. Okay, so this is about and they exhibit the electrical as well as the thermal conductivity like metals. But when compared to the parent metal, the electrical and thermal conductivity is very less. Exhibit the conductivity but not useful for any applications when compared to their parent metal. Okay, like that. This is about the non-stoichiometric hydrates. Here, if you observe here, this entire column, hydrogen percentage is in non-stoichiometric ratio. That's why these are called non-stoichiometric hydrates or metallic hydrates. Okay, clear? Thank you.